Science exploring the universe. Serving humanity, religion belates, deceives, and pushes people into the forest of darkness and superstition. To profit, Buddha Sakyamuni awakens and guides people to overcome the forest of delusion, superstition and ignorance in order to escape suffering in human life. 1. Science. Science explores the universe and serves humanity is obvious, everyone knows. The famous scientist, inventor of the atomic bomb, Albert Einstein, declared that once humanity progresses in civilization, the religion that will survive in the end will be Buddhism, because Buddhism is a scientific and superscientific religion. But the scientist Einstein has not explained how Buddhism is a scientific religion, and how Buddhism is a superscientific religion. Today, Tan Tien, a disciple of Arahant Thich Thon Lac, clearly explains to the world as follows. 1. What is science? That means the formula, the truth, the reality never changes over time, space, and weather. Because it is a formula, anyone who knows how to use the formula will get the same exact result. For example, to get water, take 2 hydrogen 1 oxygen, use electric current as catalyst to get water. Of course, there are a few more conditions. Since this is a general program, no further explanation is needed, or everyone who studies the same profession practices the same profession. 2. How can Buddhism be called a scientific religion? Buddha Dharma is a formula. A truth, a reality that never changes with time, space, and weather. Buddha Dharma is a formula. Anyone who knows how to use Buddha Dharma correctly will attain enlightenment. Of course, there are a few conditions attached. Example 1, recipe, eat vegetarian 1 meal a day. A person who can eat 1 meal a day as a vegetarian has no more desires, the 7 emotions and 6 desires slowly disappear from the body and mind. Conditions, living alone, sleeping little, using the method of right thinking to remind the mind constantly, regularly, and permanently. Example 2, formula, lead the mind to the path. Whoever constantly brings wholesome dharmas into his mind, and the wholesome dharmas remain in his mind, attains the fruit of arahantship. Conditions, living alone, sleeping little, using the method of right thinking to remind the mind constantly, regularly, and permanently. Example 3, formula, solution. Whoever keeps the precepts diligently, until the precepts do not leave the body and mind, will attain the fruit of arahantship. Conditions, living alone, sleeping little, using the method of right thinking to remind the mind constantly, regularly and permanently. Example 4, formula, give up greed, anger, delusion, pride, doubt. Whoever permanently abandons one of the 5 desires, the remaining 4 desires will run out and attain enlightenment. Conditions, living alone, sleeping little, using the method of right thinking to remind the mind constantly, regularly and permanently. 3. What does it mean that Buddhism is a superscientific religion? It means that following a scientific formula gives a fixed result. Meanwhile, practicing Buddhism correctly gives a result that is more wonderful than the estimated result. This is true, there have been thousands of practitioners who have attained arahantship. Science has not proven it. Because, for matter, change is simple, but for humans, each person is a separate world, with myriad changes. For example, looking at the achievements of students graduating as doctors, each doctor is different in skill and professionalism. So is Arahant, the 10 great disciples of Buddha. Each has his own outstanding qualities. No one is the same, but they are similar in the following points: liberation, end of suffering, non-outflow, Arahant. 2. Religion. Taking advantage of people's natural fear and greed, to satisfy people's greed, religion bewitches and deceives people, pushing people into the forest of ignorance and superstition, to gain benefits, to be able to sit in the cool and eat from a golden bowl. They create so many mysterious, far-fetched illusions, entering the right frequency of human imagination, causing people who are inherently ignorant, foolish, and gullible to blindly believe. Example 1, they put forth the doctrine that God created me and appointed me to be king. Everyone must obey and serve me. Whoever does not believe in and obey me must die. Until today, has humanity opened its eyes? This is just the doctrine of the strong to intimidate people with fear, causing people to willingly become their slaves in order to live. Example 2, the theory that God created the universe, led by the leaders and rulers of Christianity, who rule over the ignorant masses all over the world, has now been eliminated from schools all over the world. This is magic. After American and international scientists went to the Vatican, Rome, to show evidence that Jesus is a fake God. Example 3, Buddha and God save people when they are sick. A bunch of people go to pray together. Do they save them? A smallpox epidemic occurred and tens of thousands of people died. The whole crowd went to pray, and the sick person also died. Religious leaders brag that people die because they are being punished by God and Buddha. In fact, it is clear that the patient who was saved by a doctor, or the patient had extraordinary willpower and was able to endure the pain and survived. Nowadays, hospitals are being built all over the world with increasingly modern equipment, and doctors are working to save sick people and animals. It's so obvious, yet religious leaders still preach that doctors are born from God and Buddha. How sad. Even doctors don't dare to believe in themselves. They are also naive enough to pray for nothing. Example 4, in order for people to be served with delicious food, beautiful clothes, good sleep, and enjoy worldly pleasures, the evil cults come up with the following: must kill the virgin sacrifice, must kill animals to sacrifice to demons. Actually, to make people fear, together worship them. Killing virgins is to cover up their adultery and ruin the girl's life. Killing animals is to offer food to the evil spirits. With examples 1, 2, 3, for all are reasons of the strong. The French have an everlasting saying, la raison de la force, which means, the meaning of the strong is always strong. Once they are weak, the truth is revealed. Obviously, the more advanced science becomes, the more it dispels the dark, deep, gloomy, and wild obsessions that threaten mankind, and push people into the forest of ignorance and superstition. Make people foolishly bow their heads in submission, help them become rich and prosperous. Anyone who is calm, has right views, sees clearly, reflects, and thinks clearly will know this: the Holy See of Rome is the world's most powerful and wealthy. Every religion has big houses, money and food in their warehouses. Father, monk, priest, Zen master with pockets full of money, traveling, enjoying life everywhere. Oh humanity, when will you wake up from this dream? Absolutely. The clothes do not make the monk. 3. Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni was a scholar. He discovered the truth of the Four Noble Truths. With the Four Noble Truths, awaken people and guide people. Light your own torch and step out of the forest of ignorance and superstition. Each person must fight with himself to advance into the world of no more suffering. Be your own master and no longer a slave to anyone. Master Tan Tien's lecture is clear, transparent, and in accordance with the teachings of Venerable Thich Thong Lac, to help everyone read and understand easily. Absolutely do not believe in Master Tan Tien, but believe in Arahant Thich Thong Lac. He has revealed it to us. Read and listen to his sermons at thuvianthethonglak.net. nguyen-thuy-chan-nu.net. Note: if you want to know how we are so ignorant that we become slaves, just look at the person who owns a car, and it will be clear. The car is used as a means of transportation for us, but the person who owns the car is fascinated, so the car is me, mine, my ego. Finally, the car owner spends all his life taking care of the car. Day and night he worries about the car. Me too. The body is the means to help us have the basis to practice to escape our life, no longer make people suffer, to return to ourselves, but we are infatuated, so, this body is me, mine, my ego, I am passionate, addicted, chasing the harmony of 33 levels of consciousness, forgetting that we need to practice to overcome suffering and return to the origin of our life.